Bret Bielema's the next one. This one I am absolutely very, very high on. And by the way, I'm going to revert back to Fickle. At Cincy, it is worth noting he took over for Tommy Tuberville. And Tommy was there for 4 years, 9-4, 9-4, 7-6, 4-8. So he regressed at Cincinnati. Arguably, Fickle had to rebuild that up, right? And it took him only 2 years to do it. So Wisconsin was in a bad place too, to be fair, when he took over. So it's not like he, took over something great. Bret Bielema, love Bielema, always have. His teams at Wisconsin, you probably remember the name Russell Wilson mostly, who was his quarterback the year they won the Rose Bowl. But they went to back-to-back Rose Bowls, by the way, in 2010, 2011. They were crushing it with Bielema. Remember those massive offensive linemen. He runs between the tackles well. Monte Ball was one of the running backs. Melvin Gordon was another one. Those are the two, I think, most popular. He had it rolling there. Seriously. So then he goes to Arkansas, right, and regresses. Didn't do great there. His best season was 8-5. Ultimately gets fired after 2017. Resurfaces now at Illinois, and he's been in Illinois. This was his 4th year. Looking at his record at Wisconsin, his first year he went 12-1. Then he went 9-4, 7-6. Year 4, 5-6. He had double-digit win seasons: 10-3, 11-2, 11-3. That's the type of season I expected this year out of Bielema. And that's what he got year 4 at at Illinois. 5-7, 8-5, 5-7, now 10-3. Also, he has Luke Altmaier, quarterback, who was an Ole Miss transfer. Altmaier was Corral's backup. I think it was 2021 when they played Baylor in that bowl game, and Corral got hurt again. Corral was gutsy that whole year, but he had an ankle thing. So Altmaier came in. To me, it looked serviceable. I was like, oh, cool. This is the future because Corral's out of eligibility. Like, this is cool to see. And then Kiffin goes in the portal, and no knock on Kiffin. I mean, Jackson Dart had a very good career as quarterback for 3 years starting. But that prompts Altmaier to transfer. Altmaier ultimately surfaces at Illinois and showed out this year, 10-3. Awesome season. So I'm intrigued next year too, because Altmaier's back, and that's going to be clutch for Bielema. I think that's probably, honestly, you can put in a chat, and I can't think of a better quarterback for his system since his days at Wisconsin with Russell Wilson. So yeah, I mean, he's a good coach. So we'll see what happens, but I love his style as well for the Big Ten. I think that matters, and people don't realize that it's a thing. Like, you want to look and compare his Arkansas tenure. Like, I get that for sure. He regressed. He tried to try something. He pulled a Brian Kelly, basically. That's essentially what Brian Kelly did. He said, well, I proved it at Notre Dame. Notre Dame's an independent, though. Same geographic area, Big Ten country. And he said, well, I want to try an SEC school. Arkansas is not as much of a prestigious name as LSU, but still, it's a challenge, especially at the time period that Bielema took over was in Saban's heyday with Bama. I mean, they were rolling. LSU was rolling really good at that time. And Arkansas is in the West. What was the West when they had divisions? So, he did his best he could. I think what to be fair would be the comparison to his tenure at Illinois, or his tenure at Wisconsin. Sorry, not Arkansas. So we'll see with Bielema. Ultimately, to be fair, too, like, Illinois is a doormat in college football traditionally. No knock on Illinois fans. It is what it is. They've had some great basketball teams. Again, usually you're good at one, not the other. Lovie Smith, Bill Blackman, Ron Zook, Ron Turner. I'm sure I'm giving Illinois fans nightmares with these names of head coaches. Guys, since and yes, Zook, that same Ron Zook that coached Florida, he resurfaced as their head coach. He lasted 6 years, and I knew he was dead when he got there. I mean, 7 years. Because it's freaking Ron Zook. He couldn't win at Florida. So anyways, since Bielema got them to winning season in 2022, their last winning season was 2011 under Zook. Zook's last year. They had a pair of 7-6 seasons. 7-6 seasons his last 2 years. Now their last double-digit win season was all the way back in 2001 before Bielema got there. They lost in the Sugar Bowl. So they have never been a football school. Now they're halfway a football school. TBD still, but he's got him on the rise. Matt